a lot of young men act as manly as they can. So what I mean by this is the young buck, the knight. And what he does is he displays, just like the mating dance of animals, he displays what it is he thinks it is to appear masculine. This might be a big hotted up car, or if you're from, the other end of town, it might be a very big bank account. It's whatever was sold to you as male power. So whether that's having a position of status, whether that's accumulating status symbols, such as wearing a certain label of clothing, or having a certain type of car, or living in a certain area. These are all what unconscious men collect to prove their masculine worth, to prove their masculinity and their masculine power. Now, ultimately, this is not a man. This is a boy in a man's body pretending to be a man, because he actually has no idea what it is to be a man. And that's because we haven't had male rites of passage, we haven't had brotherhood lodges for thousands of years, but it is time to reclaim this tradition, because through sitting in circle, a man sees all of the facets of himself mirrored back to him. He sees his strengths, he sees his weaknesses, he sees his stories, he sees the roles that he plays, and he can't avoid himself. He has to confront all of the aspects in himself, and in doing that he can take responsibility for those aspects and step into his power and be truly effective in the moment, in the now, respond effectively. And that is what a true man is. Another ingredient which is key, the difference between a knight and a king. A knight, as I was saying, postulates, he beats his chest, so to speak. He puffs up his plumage in order to appear big, powerful. A king, on the other hand, a mature, conscious man, does not arrive with pageantry. A real man, a king, is a man who has been to the absolute bottom of the well. He has met his vulnerability. This is his disowned self. It is his inner feminine. And when he can accept this, when he can honour this part of himself, when he can integrate this, then he is whole. He's no longer just half looking for his other whole. And so this is why I have a bit of a theory. Men that have taken this descent will often have a beard or have facial hair, because this literally looks a bit like a vagina. So unconsciously you'll see the young buck clean shaven, whereas the mature man shows that he has the feminine on board, if you know what I mean. Just a theory. But so interesting, that beards have been very poo-pooed in our culture. And that is not saying every man needs to have a beard to be a man. But what I am saying is that a man needs to be comfortable with his own vulnerability. That means expressing it privately until he's comfortable with it, until he's able to then share it in a safe space of brotherhood with men who have a conscious intention of honouring their vulnerability so they can grow into being conscious men. And each man in that environment acts as a channel for the energy of the Great Father. So they father each other, because let's face it, most men have not had a powerful, conscious, heart-centered man to guide them, to mentor them. So I invite all of the brothers, whether you are 16 or 66, to seek out a circle or to start a circle. It's very simple. All you need to do is take it in turns to pass the talking stick. There is a free PDF on my website called How to Create a Red Tent. You can use that as a template. I've tried it with men and got great feedback. So this is a time to acknowledge your own inner feminine, and in doing that you will have far more harmonious relationships with all the women in your life, be they your sister, your mother, your wife, your daughter. So through this very simple but powerful process of meeting once a month with men of all different ages, all different backgrounds, who have the one pure intent of becoming better men by facing themselves once a month and speaking their heart's truth without being shamed, but for being honoured for expressing their truth and their vulnerability, we will see the transformation of the masculine on this planet to one that is truly a custodian of Eden.